This is chapter 22 of Worship New and Old. This chapter is Worship and Related Ministries. This is basically a chapter about how the church and its ministers and worship leaders should work in order to minister to the church congregation and the world. First off, it talks about language and how the language of the church has changed over the generations because of women's rights and the equality of women. No longer are preachers just saying things like he or men. They're referring to the women as well. So the language in worship and in the church has changed. Also diversity. It talks about how the population of Caucasian Americans will go from 85% in this country to 65, and that was in 65%, and that was in 2010. So the church needs to become more diverse in the ways we worship, not just the same way every Sunday, and not just so it appeals to one people group. Pastoral care, things like healing and stuff like that. They may be different or kind of uncomfortable for what we do in our churches, but there are a lot of very diverse churches that practice this, and so we should become more open to that. It also talks about education. There are a lot of Christian schools out there, and it just talks about how it is our duty as the church to educate. And then it just kind of gives a few examples of more modern ways that we focus our worship and our time. Hospitality, it's a big one, letting people into your home, providing food, shelter. Evangelism, it's one that's pushed very heavily nowadays. Also, one of the biggest, social justice. I didn't say that right. Social justice, and that is basically, trying to right the world's wrongs through Christianity, and so that's one way we have ministered to the world, and that's basically the chapter. So